Here, step back a minute. See some space.
Yeah, put it right there.
You're kind of selling it. Wait until you get this. Let's check it. There it is.
winds roar. See the silver bird on high. She's way westward bound, high above the clouds she'll fly, where the morning rain don't fall, and the sun always shines. She'll be flying over my home in about 3 hours time. This old airport's got me down. It's no earthly good to me, so I'm stuck here on the ground. It's cold and tight as I can be. You can't jump a big jet plane like you can an old freight train. So I'd best be on my way in the early morning rain. Sing it up.
Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo a perderte después. Quiero tenerte muy cerca, mirarme en tus ojos, verte junto a mí. Pienso que tal vez mañana ya esté muy lejos de ti. Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo a perderte después. Quiero tenerte muy cerca, mirarme en tus ojos, verte junto a mí. Pienso que tal vez mañana yo ya esté muy lejos de ti. Bésame, bésame bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo a perderte, perderte después. Que tengo miedo a perderte, perderte después. Que tengo miedo a perderte, perderte después.
sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. I've been farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised.
The place where he was born and raised.
For 6 long years I've been in trouble. No pleasure here on earth I found. For in this world I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help me now.
He has no friends to help him
You can bury me in some deep valley for many years where I may lay. And you may learn to love another while I am sleeping in my grave.
while he lay sleeping in his grave.
Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you'll never see here again. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore.
He'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Roane State Community College's graduation commencement celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the posting of our national and state colors. Gentlemen, if you'll remove your headgear, please. Color guard, post the colors.
Broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I would like to thank the Sergeant York's own Army JROTC Dragon Battalion from the York Institute in Jamestown for posting our national and state colors. Thank you, and for a job well done, York's Institute. We thank you. I'd also like to thank Professor Harold Nagy and the Roane State Bluegrass Band, accompanied by Dr. Joel Greenlee, for their musical performance before we had the processional march. Thank you very much. Dr. Larry Bolden will now deliver our invocation this evening.
And gentlemen, once again, please remove your caps as we pray. Our almighty and merciful God, in whom we live and move and have our very being, we come to you with praise and thanksgiving for the blessings of this day and of this occasion. We rejoice with these graduates and their families and pray your continued blessings upon them as they commence a new chapter in their lives. We pray that the knowledge they have gained will replace fear and mistrust, give them confidence and competence in their chosen fields, and that a broader perspective of tolerance and understanding will result from their time spent here. As they take up new challenges, we pray that they will make us proud as they enjoy good and productive lives. Bless this school, its faculty and staff and leadership. that we all may continue to work together to deliver an education of quality and good reputation, and may the desire to continue to learn and serve characterize all who partake of the Roane State experience. Grant us grace and forgiveness, temperance and compassion, patience and kindness, goodness and courage of conviction. Direct us in all our ways and keep us safe and secure in the knowledge of your everlasting love. We humbly pray, and amen.
Thank you, Dr. Bolden. If everyone will please be seated. Tonight, we will bring to a close our 40th anniversary celebration as we honor the 40th graduation class and celebrate almost 41 years of academic excellence. In 1971, this institution was created by the Tennessee legislature and was named after the second governor of Tennessee, Mr. Archibald Roane. Prior to his election, Governor Roane made the Delaware River crossing with George Washington on Christmas Eve in 1776, and was also present at the surrender of Cornwallis at the Battle of Yorktown. He was a member of the Tennessee State Constitutional Convention in 1796 and was elected the second governor of Tennessee in 1801 through 1803. During his term of governor, he served as trustee of Tennessee's first three colleges: Blount College, which we all know now is the University of Tennessee at Knoxville, Greenville College, and Washington College. So it is very fitting that Roane State is named after Governor Archibald Roane. On behalf of our faculty, staff, and students, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to Roane State Community College's commencement ceremony for 2012. Thank you for joining us. Professor Betty Glenn carried the mace in this evening as she led the students into this hall. Professor Glenn begins her post-retirement tonight. So this is her last official duty at Roane State Community College. We have other outstanding faculty members who have announced their retirement, and I would like them to stand as I call their name. Dr. Doris Chitwood, Professor Ken Malveaux, and Dr. David Puckett will also begin their post-retirement with Roane State at the end of this semester. Ending their post-retirement at the end of this semester are Professor Betty Dennison, Professor Billy Smith, Dr. Ed Smith, and Professor David Theus. We want to say thank you for all of their hard work for the many, many years that they have dedicated themselves to educating Tennesseans. Professor Linda Edwards will also retire at this end of the semester. And is she here this evening? Probably not, because she is scheduled, I think, for tomorrow's graduation. So we want to say congratulations to them and offer our sincere thanks. Tonight we gather to celebrate and to pay tribute to almost 1,000 Roane State graduates who have reached a major milestone in their lives. I offer to each of you our commendation and congratulations for achieving your dream. We are also pleased to honor you as our graduating class of 2012 and welcome you into Roane State's alumni ranks. I'd like to introduce our special guests here on the stage. While we consider each of you, graduates and family members here, a special guest, there are certain individuals who have joined us tonight who are worthy of our recognition. Would you please stand when I introduce you? Regent Tom Grissom. Regent Grissom is a member of the Tennessee Board of Regents, and I will introduce him more fully later in the program, since he will be extending a special welcome on behalf of the Tennessee Board of Regents. And by the way, he's one of my bosses, so I have to make sure we do this well. Next, Miss Janice McKinley, and I will obviously have more to say about Miss McKinley since she will be delivering the commencement address very shortly. And Loretta Starnes. who is the recipient of the 2011-2012 President's Award and also a graduating member of your class. Please join me in welcoming our special guests. Thank you. I'd like to recognize the other platform guests. Will they please stand as I call their names? On your right, Dr. Chris Whaley, the Vice President for Student Learning. On the first row on your left is Ms. Linda Hillman, Vice President for the Oak Ridge Branch Campuses and Higher Education Centers. Professor Pat Worth, President of the Faculty Senate. Ms. Teresa Duncan, Vice President for Student Services and Enrollment Management. Mr. Danny Gibbs, Vice President for Business and Finance. On the second row on your left is Dr. Myra Peavyhouse, Dean of Humanities, Dr. Larry Bolden, Dean of Math and Sciences, Dr. Diane Ward, Dean of Social Science, Business and Education, Dr. Mike Lehman, Dean of Allied Health Sciences, and Ms. Regina Hinkle, Dean of Nursing. We are indeed fortunate at Roane State to have a distinguished member of the Tennessee Board of Regents as an honored guest. Mr. Tom Grissom was appointed to the Tennessee Board of Regents on September 30th, 2010 by Governor Phil Bresden, representing the 3rd Congressional District. Regent Grissom currently is a media and communications consultant. He resigned from the Chattanooga Times Free Press in June 2010 after 11 years as the publisher and executive editor of that newspaper. Regent Grissom's previous experience includes service as a senior account executive with a Washington-based public affairs firm, Powell Tate Public Affairs. He was the executive vice president of external relations for R.J. Reynolds and the first holder of the West Chair of Excellence in Communications at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. He also has federal public service in his resume, in that he was the Director of Communications for President Ronald Reagan and was the press secretary for Senator Howard Baker. He is a graduate of the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga with a Bachelor of Arts degree in English. Mr. Grissom is a member of the Blue Key, Scabbard and Blade, and Alpha Societies. He was named an outstanding alumnus of the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga in 2007. Regent Grissom and his wife, Marion, reside in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Regent Grissom, the podium is yours, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Goff. Good evening, and let me extend the welcome from the Tennessee Board of Regents to all the students here who are about to be able to move a tassel to the other side shortly and become graduates. Let me also turn to all those who are here tonight in support of the students in front of me. And thank you for your time, your commitment, and all the things you've done for these students to reach this point in their life. And let me also, Dr. Goff, to you, your faculty and staff, extend best wishes for a job well done. You're about to see the culmination of your work. Thank you. It's good to be with you tonight, and congratulations.
Thank you, Regent Grissom. Tonight's commencement speaker is Mrs. Janice McKinley. Janice McKinley is the Senior Vice President of Quality, Safety, and Nursing Operations for the entire Covenant Health Systems based in Knoxville, Tennessee. So you nurses out here, you may want to chat her up in the snack line after this ceremony. Her scope of responsibilities includes clinical quality, patient safety, physician credentialing, and nursing. She serves as Chief Quality and Patient Safety Officer for Covenant Health. Janice graduated from the University of Tennessee in 1975 with her bachelor's degree of science in nursing. She continued her education, achieving a Master's of Science in Health Services Administration in 1994. She has been a registered nurse for over 35 years and has served in capacities of Infection Control Employee Health Nurse, Director of Patient Support Services, Vice President of Cardiac and Specialty Services, Chief Operating Officer, and Chief Nursing Officer. She is a member of the American Organization of Nurse Executives and has served as the local president of the Tennessee Organization of Nurse Executives of East Tennessee. She has held the distinction of Fellow with the American College of Healthcare Executives since 2001 and was a participant in the Johnson & Johnson's Walton Fellowship for Nurse Executives in 1998. She is board certified as a nursing executive by the ANCC and was recognized as an accomplished alumni of the University in Tennessee in the fall of 2010. Janice is a board member of Friends of Literacy, is on the Tennessee Wesleyan College Board of Visitors and the University of Tennessee College of Nursing Board of Visitors. She currently serves on a national committee for A1 and attends Cokesbury United Methodist Church. Please join me in welcoming tonight's speaker, Ms. Janet McKinley.
Thank you, Dr. Goff. Welcome. Thank you to the faculty, the graduates, the parents, spouses, and friends and family that are here to support every one of you. I'm so very happy to be here. I love this kind of celebration. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to experience Roane State and its campus. It is very impressive, and you should be very proud. It's going to be a great evening. Congratulations to each one of you. What an exciting day, and I hope each of you are filled with pride and joy, because you should be. You've accomplished a major accomplishment and are beginning a new phase in your life. It's an honor and a privilege for me to be here this evening. I've always loved graduations, and I really love it when I see 120 nurses graduating. I have always had this kind of thing as a special place in my heart. For celebrations, it's very important, big or small, and this is one of the biggest ones that you'll ever have. It recognizes an important success in your life. It's not about the speech, and I'm going to be very brief tonight. I'm sure you're going to like that because I see the fans going in the room. But it's about the experience and the joy that you can count on with your families and your friends. When I was asked to do this keynote, I thought, my goodness, what could I ever bring to the table that would impress this group? And they might take away one or two things to remember tonight about the speech. And I'm a big fan of Google, so I Google everything. So I went in and I said, what were the most impressive keynote speakers in the top 10 years? And as I looked at that list, and it was number 1, Steve Jobs, the founder and president of Apple. He invented my iPad. He spoke to Stanford. You are not that lucky tonight. The second one in the list was Bill Gates. You know Bill Gates, one of the wealthiest men in the world, the creator of Microsoft. Third on the list, though, was Oprah Winfrey. We all know about her and what she's done and her impact on Americans. I was kind of chuckled when I saw who was fourth on the list. It was Ellen DeGeneres. So she really had an impact where she came from as well. And lo and behold, the fifth one on the list was Larry Page. You know who he is. He created Google, and he's also a keynote speaker. So tonight I thought, what can I share with this group that they would see the importance of the careers that we've chosen? So I thought I might tell you a little bit about myself and why I have stayed in this profession for 35 plus years, and I can't ignore it. It's in my bio. You know how old I am today. First of all, I want you to know that I am married to a hospital administrator. He's a COO. I have 2 grown daughters, and one of them is a family nurse practitioner. I have 5 grandchildren, and 2 of them have to wear glasses like their grandmother, so we use the care of some of you real soon as you're graduating tonight. My parents and my in-laws are all for living, and we're creating a whole new network of support for them in healthcare in East Tennessee. But I wanted you to know that I'm a nurse, and I'm a hospital administrator, and I've held many roles in my career in 35 years. But this is actually my 30th year in Covenant Health in the same organization. But as you heard, I started out as a bedside nurse, then I went to the emergency room, then I was an infection control practitioner and actually created a whole department to prevent infections in our organization. Then I moved into the support arena where we did case management and all those kinds of things that are important to the care of a patient. Then I was an assistant administrator for one of our small hospitals. Moved on to COO until one day they decided to reorganize and eliminate those jobs. And then I became a chief nursing officer. And I was a chief nursing officer for Park West Medical Center for 10 years until last year where I was promoted into my role today. And I tell you that because I'm going to connect the dots to you about your future and the things that you can do in healthcare. But one of the things that I want you to know that I was the first child of 6 that ever attended college in my family. Many of you may be the same here tonight. I was absolutely the first nurse in any of our extended family. And my grandmother, her name was Nancy Ellen McMahon, who never attended school, actually could not read or write. And she was my biggest cheerleader. She always encouraged me, and she was always so very proud of me. And when I graduated in 1975 at the University of Tennessee and sat for my boards and became a nurse, my name went away. And from that time on, she referred to me as my granddaughter, the RN. She would be so proud because her namesake, as she called her, my daughter, Nancy Ellen Cherry, is now a nurse as well and practicing in California. And every night I know she looks down and smiles upon us. So why am I telling you this story? I think it's important that you understand the significance of what we do. Everybody here has chosen healthcare as your profession. So on Saturday morning, February the 13th of 1980, I know most of you sitting here were not born then. Maybe your parents were just babies. But I got a call from my mother, and she said, "There's something very wrong with your Grandma Nancy, and she's asking for you." Now, I was one of several grown grandchildren, and certainly she had many adult children, but she wanted me. So I quickly dressed and left my house and drove quickly to her house, where I found her lying on the sofa, fully dressed, but obviously acutely ill. She was gray and ashen and extremely short of breath. And I knelt down next to her, and I quickly assessed her and realized she was having an acute MI or a massive heart attack. I called out to my parents to call 911, and I began providing care for her, as limited as it could be without any kind of resources there. I knew she was in big trouble, and I held her hand, and we talked. And she said to me she was so proud that I was her nurse. The ambulance got there very quickly, and I jumped in the back of the wagon. For you paramedics, you know what that means. And I sat by her side every minute, holding her hand and talking to her. Lots of things were going on as they began to have to resuscitate her. And she passed away that day holding my hand. Then I began to talk to the doctors, communicated to my entire extended family what happened, and began to make all the arrangements for her care. But that day, I knew once again I had chosen the right field. I knew that I could be there to support others in the same way that I supported my grandmother that day and my family. A couple years after that, it was a Sunday afternoon, and I was working in an emergency room, and we got a call from the ambulance that they were in emergency route to the ED in a full code situation. And they came through the back doors with a young man who obviously was in a full code and was dying. His wife was with him, and she was screaming that she had left her 2 small children at the campgrounds because he had collapsed suddenly. And I was the triage nurse that day. I remember it like it was yesterday. And as I triaged and knew that there was nothing I could do to assist in the code, I knew I could assist his wife and his children. We put her in my car, and we went to the campground and got the children. And I stayed with them until family from South Carolina made it to our emergency room to pick them up. Do you know that 15 years later, I still got a Christmas card every Christmas from that family thanking me for the impact I had on their lives that day? You never forget that. So every time that I receive any kind of recognition or I hear of anybody talk about why they chose nursing, or anytime I celebrate with my family and friends, I always reflect back on the influence that my grandmother had on me and the direction she gave me in my life. And I'm sure there's somebody sitting here tonight that has that same power over you. So I say to you, celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Enjoy every moment. And after the celebration of this weekend is over, I hope you can reflect on your future and you can make sure that you have meaning and purpose in your work. I know that many of you are going to be a nurse, a social worker, a dental hygienist, a medical transcriptionist, paramedics, and the list goes on, and you will make a difference. So I was thinking about that. I hope you all chose this healthcare career for the right reasons. But I also did my Google search, and I thought, why are people choosing healthcare today? And it was amazing to me, the top 10 reasons they said that we're going into healthcare. First of all, the number one reason that people say they're going into healthcare is because it's the fastest growing sector in the workforce because it's in demand. According to the U.S. Department of Labor and the Bureau of Labor Statistics, of the 30 fastest growing occupations in the entire labor market, 50% of those are in allied health, so there's lots of opportunity. The number one reason that people choose healthcare is the pay. According to the same statistics, the U.S. Department of Labor says with an associate degree, in some fields you can make between $80,000 and $100,000, and it'll rank you in the top 10% of earners' salaries in the country. If you go for a higher degree, you can continue to grow, and you can do a lot more than just pay your bills. 3, choices, choices, choices. You have a whole list of choices tonight in your diagram, and it tells you the reasons you're doing that. Number 4, which I just thought was just amazing, the reason people choose healthcare is that they can get it paid for free. And we know that we do pay for some healthcare jobs in our market, but because of the staffing shortage in the industry, there's a lot of employers that are willing to give scholarships if you'll come back and work for us. Also, number 5 is you feel needed. Working in healthcare makes a difference in people's lives, and it really does. Caring for people and helping others lead healthy lives is satisfying and very important. You can meet a lot of different people. You can work with different people every day. Patients, families, doctors, nurses, other staff members. And the fastest growing sector of the healthcare market is technology. And if anybody really wants to write their ticket, go into IT and healthcare. It's a future. Number 7 is it's very exciting. You never know what's going to happen, and you always have to stay on your toes. You have to solve problems and make decisions very quickly. Every day is different. And I can say in my 35 years, not one day is exactly the same. Some days you'd like it to be the same, so it's be predictable, but it really isn't. 8, you can move up. I'm a perfect example of that. I have had a variety of opportunities in my career, and you will also. And physical therapy and paramedics make up the largest part of the people entering physician assistance programs in America. So it's a stepping stone for other opportunities as well. There's a lot of variety. You can change specialties. You can go from pediatrics to orthopedics, and you can certainly choose the type and age of the population you want to serve. But in the last of the 10, you can travel anywhere. You can take your skills on the road, and healthcare jobs are in demand all across the world, not just in America. So it is really the ability to move anywhere. I was in San Francisco 6 weeks ago when the birth of my newest grandchild, and she ended up in the intensive care unit. And I talked to 4 nurses that day from 4 different states that was working there taking care of Abigail. So you can go anywhere to work, even though we want you to stay locally. But for me, I really didn't think of any of these things when I decided to go into healthcare. My professional choice was because I really wanted to be a nurse and I wanted to make a difference. And in Covenant Health, we try to bring that back every day to our staffs. And we want our staff, there's over 10,000 employees in Covenant Health, to understand and connect to purpose. So we open meetings with what we call a connect to purpose, which is where a recent experience is discussed and stories are shared about the care that we give to our patients and our families. It's about the total experience, and you would be amazed at some of the stories our housekeepers, our folks that credential our physicians, and all staff tell about their connect to the purpose and why they get up every day and come to work. It really does put meaning in what you do, and it grounds you in the importance of your work. One of my favorite stories is a story that I tell about the day that I moved into this role. And I started the staff meeting in my department, and I said, who has a connect to purpose? And it was a new role, a new corporate role, and nobody seemed to understand what I was talking about. So I started with a letter that I received from a patient's daughter. And it was a letter that she wanted to share with me about a new graduate nurse at Park West who had taken care of her mother, who had been admitted to the hospital and was very demented and was having much difficulty following instructions and understanding what was going on with her care, and in fact had become quite combative and would not let anybody take care of her and even give her her medications. So after a very trying day of trying to care for her, one of our new graduate nurses 2 years ago said to her, "Ma'am, what do you need from me for you to understand that we're here to try to take good care of you?" And you know what she said? She said, "I just want to dance." And the young graduate nurse really didn't know what to do, but he said, "Okay, let's dance." So he went and got his iPod at the time, and plugged it in and put on music, and so they danced. In her room, they danced and they danced. And she began to calm down. She began to trust him, and she said, "I'm ready to take my medicines." He gave her her medicines, they danced again, and she began to turn the corner. He was a brand new graduate, and that's a true story. And he made an impact on her care, and the daughter wrote me as the chief nursing officer to share that with me. And we submitted that to a publication called What's Right in Healthcare, and it was publicized by Quint Studer because it really is what's right in healthcare. So the next time we had a staff meeting, one of my credentialing specialists, who are the folks who actually credential our physicians, and we have over 900 physicians in our system that we credential. You go through a whole process of making sure where they graduated, are they boarded, what are their skill sets, etc. She had an opportunity to be in one of our own waiting rooms with another patient's family, and she was sitting there, and the doctor came out to tell the family about the care, the very complex surgery the patient had just had, how it turned out, the prognosis, what the next steps were. And she said, all I could do was sit there and smile because I knew the quality of the physician that was taking care of my friend because I helped credential him. So every time now we have a meeting, everyone shares because they know what important roles they have in Covenant Health. So no matter where you are, the field you chose tonight, you chose the right profession. So in closing, I just have a few quotes I'd like to share with you. Richard Bach said, "There is a test to find whether a mission on earth is finished. If you're still alive, it isn't." Harry Truman said, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive. Then go and do that, because what the world needs are people who are alive." Tony Robbins, and I really don't know who that is, but I like his quote, says, "I challenge you to make your life a masterpiece. I challenge you to join the ranks of those people who live what they teach and they walk their talk." And one of my favorites, and I'm a Walt Disney fan, is a Walt Disney quote that says, "All our dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them." But the last one, and you nurses graduating tonight will hear a lot about Florence Nightingale in your career. In fact, her birthday is coming up on the 11th of May. We celebrate it every year in Professional Nurses Week. But Florence said, "Nursing is an art. And if it is to be made an art, it requires exclusive devotion and hard preparation as any painter or sculptor's work. So what is having to do with a dead canvas or a dead marble compared with having to do with a living body, the temple of God's Spirit? It is one of the fine arts. In fact, the finest of arts." Florence Nightingale. So tonight and this weekend, it's an important time for you to celebrate, but in the beginning of next week, you'll begin the next phase. So start it with joy, enthusiasm, and purpose. I wish you luck and happiness, and thanks again for choosing healthcare. May God bless you.
Thank you, Janice, for such an inspirational message. You have presented a challenge to the members of this class that hopefully they will find and serve for many decades to come. On behalf of Roane State students, I'd now like to ask one of your own graduating members of this class, Miss Loretta Starnes, to make a few remarks about the impact Roane State has had on her in obtaining her academic goals. Loretta attended Roane State as a full-time student in occupational therapy program and has earned a 3.81 grade point average. She is the 2011-2012 recipient of the Heck Award for Creativity and Innovation in Design. Loretta is an active member of the OTA student organization. She participated in a service learning project for Oracle members. She developed a virtual dementia tour hosting tools for teachers and students in service, and organized and led group therapy sessions among other projects that she's been engaged in. Outside of class, Loretta is active in his church as well as her local chapter of Boys and Girls Club. And she is married to James Starnes, here to my right, and together they have 2 children, James and Austin. Loretta is a true inspiration to others and sets an excellent example for her peers. Loretta, the podium is yours.
Thank you. It is a great honor and privilege to be standing here before you today as the recipient of the 2011-2012 President's Award. I want to extend a special thanks to my professors Terry Gergen and Sue Sain, and to the President's Committee for this opportunity to speak before you today. A special thanks to my husband James and sons Jay and Austin for their continual love and support throughout my college career. God has truly blessed me throughout this journey, and I wouldn't be here without him today. Today, I would like to share a simple word and thought with you, one that has given me the right, power, and opportunity to choose the paths which have led me here before you today. This word is choice. It is defined as the right, power, and opportunity to choose. I believe this is the greatest, most powerful, and liberating word in our entire English dictionary. It essentially defines the very person you are and the person you hope to become. Each day you are faced with choices and the free will to choose. As a 7-year-old little girl, I was beginning to exercise the very meaning of this word. Standing in the checkout line with my parents, I discovered a pack of candy which had been opened by someone else. I decided it wouldn't be stealing if I was to take it because no one would buy it now, right? Upon reaching the car, my mother didn't agree, as she dragged me back into the store, demanding I tell the manager what I had done. Let's just say I learned 2 very valuable lessons that day. 1, never to steal again, and 2, to never justify something that is wrong to be right. Perhaps you have a similar story, a memory where you made a choice which led you to a newfound choice or belief. As you take a moment to reflect back, perhaps these memories were of joy, laughter, and triumph, and perhaps they were of sorrow, tears, and pain. Regardless of the circumstance surrounding the event, and the inability to go back, you have the right, power, and opportunity to choose your tomorrows. You see, at age 15, I found myself becoming a statistic as a teenage pregnant high school dropout. Not giving much thought to the choices I was making in life, I was headed down a fast road of destruction. Then my beautiful baby boys were born, and I quickly realized these little lives that were looking at me and calling me mom was holding the great expectation and me providing a sufficient life for them. In that moment, I knew the choices I was making in life had to change, and they started with me. I was determined to be different, to change, to be all that God intended me to be, to reach for the stars, and by doing so, not becoming another statistic. It's been 10 years since I made that choice, and after 10 years of hard work and determination, I'm able to stand before you today to share a part of my story and in sharing a part of our success. Each of you have made the momentous choice to continue your educational journey here at Roane State Community College. And through your hard work and determination, you find yourself here today at your college graduation, surrounded by friends and family. I close with this. We each have a story. They all have a beginning, middle, and an end. And it is up to you how your story is written. For most of us here today, our beginning has already been wrote. And for some of us, the middle has already begun. But for all of us, the end remains to be seen. What choices will you make as your story continues to unfold? From high school dropout to college graduate and President Awards winner in speech, I am honored to stand before you today and say that I am forever changed and that my journey here at Roane State Community College has greatly contributed to this process. I'm a firm believer in if you dream it with a little hard work and determination, you can accomplish it. It all lies within the choices you make. What choices will you choose, and where will your choices take you? Thank you for this opportunity to speak before you today. Congratulations, class of 2012, on your remarkable accomplishments and future of great success. Hold on one second. Earlier this year, our president, Dr. Gary Goff, announced his plans to retire on October 31st. This will be his final commencement as president of Roane State Community College. As a representative of the student body, I would like to recognize Dr. Gary Goff for 7 years of outstanding leadership, service, and dedication to the college, its staff, faculty, and student body. Dr. Goff, we extend our gracious thanks for your support and academic success and for the legacy of progress and achievement you will leave behind. You will be truly missed.
Thank you very much. True, it is my last graduation, and I am honored that it's with the class of 2012. And thank you, Loretta, for that. Now, I was getting up to give her a check for $500 for being the President's Award winner, and I still need to do that. So congratulations. And to the faculty, thank you for your support for the last 7 years. And thank you for all of the efforts that you've made to make Roane State the college that it is. For the audience, you don't know this, but I'll announce it. Roane State has been recognized as the 27th best community college in America. And also what came along with that is being the best community college in Tennessee. And so I thank the faculty and staff for the efforts to make that happen. And I will say that I've been your biggest cheerleader, and you've carried me on your shoulders for the past 7 years. And I'm honored to be your friend and to have worked alongside each and every one of you. And thank you for this plaque. It will go on my I Love Me wall at home. And I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. At this time, Dr. Chris Whaley, our Chief Academic Officer, will present the Student Awards. Dr. Whaley.
Thank you very much, Dr. Goff. The Academic Vice President's Achievement Awards. The recipients of this award are all degree-seeking students who have attended only Roane State Community College, and they will graduate summa cum laude, having achieved a 4.0 college-level grade point average. I would ask, please, that all the recipients that I'm going to call your names, please remain standing until all of the names are announced. The recipients this year are Sarah Elizabeth Burgess, Brandon M. Evans, Crystal Brooke Garrett, Morgan Nicole Henry, Nancy Ray Hubner, Catherine Joyce Lawson, Lisa Elaine McDonald, Carol B. Orton, Christina Scarborough, Brianna Nicole Wright. And all of them must be planning to be here tomorrow morning. That is quite an accomplishment. And would you join me in recognizing these for their outstanding achievement academically?
At this time, I'd like to call on Professor Pat Worth, President of the Roane State Community College Faculty Senate, to make an announcement concerning the Sarah Ellen Benrow Award. Professor Worth.
Thank you, Dr. Goff. I bring congratulations of the faculty to all the graduates. Today is your day. You should be proud of yourself and what you have achieved. And remember to hold on to this day. When you go forward, when life is hard, when you're afraid, you know, when things are rough and life lets you down, remember what you accomplished here at Roane State and that you can do whatever you set your mind out to do. And you just did it, right? You can do it again. Now it is my extreme pleasure to present the Sarah Ellen Benrow Award for Outstanding Teaching. Roane State Benrow Award is named in memory of a former teacher and principal, Sarah Ellen Benrow. Ms. Benrow was a teacher and school principal in Ohio and encouraged her children and others around her to strive for excellence. The award includes $1,000 cash prize and a trip to Hawaii to the Great Teachers Seminar. The award is sponsored by the Roane State Foundation. Edward C. Browder and Dr. and Mrs. John R. Sisk provided the initial Benrow endowment. Mrs. Sisk is Sarah Ellen Benrow's daughter. This recognition is made even more prestigious by the fact that the winner is selected by his or her peers. And I'm going to call out the 3 finalists in alphabetical order if they will please come forward. Dan Foltzgray. He has been teaching at Roane State for 33 years. He is an associate professor of English and coordinator of developmental reading and writing. He has a BA in English from the University of Pennsylvania and an MA in English and creative writing from the University of Chicago. Dan's work in international education, a Fulbright year spent in Norway in 1998 and 99, a semester in Mexico in 2008, he considers to be the high point of his time at Roane State. But teaching of developmental reading and writing has always been his key interest, an interest that began 35 years ago with his first teaching job at a high school for adults in Woodlawn on the south side of Chicago, where Dan discovered he knew even less about teaching than he thought, and it was important to know more. Our second candidate is George McGobgob. He has been with Roane State since 1999. He is a professor of computer science in the Mathematics and Sciences Division. He earned his PhD in computer science from Florida State University in 1988. Before coming to Roane State, he taught at Valdosta State University for more than 10 years in the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science, where he was a professor of computer science. He has been involved with RODP since its inception in 2001. In October of 2011, he was awarded the RODP Course Developer of the Decade Award. While at RSCC, he co-authored a Springer Verlag book with Professor Abraham Randall from the University of South Florida. He has served on many committees, including currently serving as Faculty Senate Vice President. Dr. McGob is married to his beautiful wife, Marie Therese, and has 2 children, Sarah and Victor. And our third finalist is Dr. Saeed Rahmanian. There he is. Dr. Rahmanian has been teaching human anatomy and physiology and biology at Roane State for the past 8 years. He is an associate professor of biology. He received his BS in animal science from the University of Tennessee, master's in reproductive physiology from the University of Wyoming, and PhD in reproductive physiology, endocrinology from Louisiana State University. After earning his doctorate, he moved overseas and worked as a CEO for an international exporting company. After 7 years as a CEO, he decided to move back to the States and has been here since. He is very involved in the cultural enhancement of his students and the community. He organized an international movie festival at the Bijou Theater in Knoxville. He also developed an international study abroad biology course where he takes his students to Costa Rica to study the culture, flora, fauna, geology, and perform field experiments on coffee. And they've been begging me for all week, you know, trying to get me to leak out, here, this is the real one. Leak out who the final winner is, and the winner this year is Dan Foltz-Gray.
Congratulations. And again, it's my pleasure to award a check for $1,000 to cover those incidental suntan lotions that he'll need in Hawaii. I'd like to offer again my congratulations to each of the nominees and to Professor Dan Foltz-Gray for being selected by their peers as the Ben Rowe Award winner and this year's Roane State Community College's outstanding faculty member. Dr. Whaley, please prepare the class of 2012 for graduation.
All right. Will the candidates for the associate degree or certificate please rise? President Goff, these students have completed the requirements for the associate degree or certificate. And on behalf of the faculty, it is my privilege to present them to you and ask that you confer upon them the appropriate degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Tennessee Board of Regents and the state of Tennessee, I hereby confer upon you, in each of your respective groups, the Associate of Applied Science degree or the appropriate certificate with full privileges, honors, and responsibilities pertaining hereto. And as one of my last official acts, graduates, please move your tassel from the right side to the left, indicating your graduation. If rows 2 through the end of the rows, the graduates, if you'll please take a seat, first row still stay standing. We will now ask you to come across the stage to receive your appropriate diploma. Thank you.
The Division of Nursing is very pleased to announce the name of Alicia Ryan Barnett. John August Bello, cum laude. Carrie Ellen Bennett. Lindsay Brooke Best. Amber Whitney Bolden. Berea. Holly S. Berea. Teresa Lynn Boykin. Erin Colleen Bradford. Raza Elizabeth Branson, cum laude. Kenzie Stiles Brasher. Sherry Ann Burnett. Amber Nicole Kate, cum laude. Noelle Shauna Childress. Kimberly Desiree Clendenden. Janine Marie Coleman. Teresa Gabriela Cortez. Corey Lynn Cox. Nicole Rose Ann Durham. Janice Ann Easterly. Ashlyn Danielle Everett. Jody Lynn Feisner. Carrie Lynn Fournier. Kristen Darlene Greenwood, summa cum laude. Angela Darlene Hale. Chelsea Joe Hale is also receiving the Associate of Applied Science and General Technology. Kirby Annette Hale, cum laude. Christina D. Hargis. Zachary Allen Harper. Marcia Norad Hedgecoff. Sharon Henley. I know. Amy Ruth Hill. Andrea Charlene Holbert. Kelly Jean Hughes. Very good. Evelyn Lively Hudson. Julie Elizabeth Johnson. Brooke Stephanie Kelly. Yes. Rochelle Lene King. Rochelle Marie Kierman. Crystal Dawn Lawson. Hey. Tammy Ray Lawson Cooper. April Michelle McAdams. Monica Macy McBee. Crystal Elaine McCoy. Amanda K. McGee. Karen Angel Monona. Susan Leanne Miller. Brittany Lace Morgan. Charlene Lynette Moyers. Cicely Shrout Neff. Patricia Bunch North. Allie Lynn Patterson. Dale Potter. Taylor Renee Ramsey. Carrie Michael Reed. Amanda Emery Roberts. Tawny Alyssa Rogers. Kiana Marie Sawyer. Jillian Scott. Ashley Nicole Sharp. Jonathan Kip Shipley II. Bethany Paige Smith. Whitney Danielle Solomon. Albert Frederick Springs. Amanda Faye Suttles. William Michael Thomas. Sean William Tisdale. Brittany Lee Trent. Tiffany L. Tweed. Lynn Michelle Vaughn. Cindy Marie Weaver. Amy Garrison Weller, cum laude. Okay. Thank you.
The following are graduates from the Dental Hygiene Technology Program. Catherine Cherie Evans, magna cum laude. Amanda Kathleen Hundley, magna cum laude. Candace Renee Hunley, magna cum laude. Jordan Elizabeth Lyford, summa cum laude. Jamie Lauren Patton, magna cum laude. Shannon Juanita Rudenhauer, summa cum laude. Wendy Michelle Snyder, summa cum laude. The following are graduates of Health Information Technology. Takira Renee Benjamin, magna cum laude. Karen G. Boyd. Jessica Sharon Braden. Wendy Dawn Johnson. Viola Christine Lawson, also receiving the Associate of Applied Science in General Technology, cum laude. Shayna Roxanne Lay. Samantha Darlene Ledbetter. Katie Jo Moses. Sarah Jo Myers, magna cum laude. Jennifer Renee Smith, summa cum laude. Candace Lynette Stevens, also receiving the Associate of Applied Science in General Technology. The following are graduates of the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program. Kimberly Sean Boggs, magna cum laude. Amy Jean Brown, summa cum laude. Cassandra Jane Desjardins, magna cum laude. James Daniel Holzenbach. Christy Ann Jackson, magna cum laude. Kelly Denise Jones. Cecily Danielle Morgan. Melinda Jo Potter, cum laude. Shane Prater. Tammy Rochelle Raby. Nicole Rowe, summa cum laude. Shirley Elizabeth Swanson, magna cum laude. Jordan Gail Yancey. Loretta Ann Starnes, magna cum laude. The following are graduates of the opticianry program. Jordan Talea Arms. Jamie Dean Beverwack Jr., cum laude. Joshua Richard Crabtree, magna cum laude. Jenny Lynn Freytag, cum laude. Teresa I. Garrett. Erica Christine Hill. Kayla Marjorie Kirkland. Sarah Renee Lavoie. Brandy Marie Polly. Daniel Paul Sturk, cum laude. Casey Nicole Talent. Taylor Joanna Womack. The following are graduates of the Physical Therapist Assistant Program. Rebecca Ann Baker, summa cum laude. Ronald Wayne Brummett, Jr., cum laude. Felicia Cobb, cum laude. Chelsea Marie Cole, cum laude. Timothy Crabtree, cum laude. Sean Allen Finch, magna cum laude. Tracy Hull, summa cum laude. Jessica Lauren Jubin, summa cum laude. Jessica Elizabeth Kelfer, summa cum laude. Casey Kathleen Kelly, magna cum laude. You're welcome, baby. Jared Wesley King, magna cum laude. Lisa Ann Mitchell, cum laude. Ashley Beth Moses, cum laude. Laura Ashley Petrus, summa cum laude. Andrea Renee Powell, summa cum laude. Keely Nicole Scott, summa cum laude. Fallon Delane Slavin, cum laude. The following are graduates of the Radiologic Technology Program. Rachel Michelle Blaylock, summa cum laude. Ashley Brett Church, cum laude. Kathleen Ashwood Collins, magna cum laude. Treva Joanne Courier, magna cum laude. Clint Daniels, summa cum laude. Shay Nicole Daniels, cum laude. Charles Travis Denton, magna cum laude. Ashley Kara Griffey, cum laude. Jacob R. Griffith, cum laude. Joshua Ted Harness. Rachel Elizabeth Harrell. Rebecca Nicole Harvey, cum laude. Angela Marie Jameson, cum laude. Ashley Danielle King, magna cum laude. Amanda Brooke Kincaid, cum laude. Brittany Suzanne Lovelace, magna cum laude. Cody James Miller. Catherine Marie Moore. Adam Patrick Moser, summa cum laude. Jason Nathaniel Moen, magna cum laude. Morgan Elizabeth Owens, summa cum laude. Brittany Amanda Parker, cum laude. Jordan Ann Phillips, summa cum laude. Sarah Helen Phillips, magna cum laude. Jordan Lee Pryor, magna cum laude. Andrew James Puckett, magna cum laude. Erica Love Strode, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Swinman, summa cum laude. Gregory W. Sylvester. Jessica Marie Tipton, summa cum laude. Lauren Renee Uppenauer, cum laude. Brian Kyle Wolf. The following are graduates of the respiratory therapy program. Skylar Jean Austin. Carrie Elizabeth Branham. Mindy Jane Dalton. Heather Renee DeBoard. Chelsea Lynn Fagg. Daniel Anthony Fain, cum laude. Wendy Nanette Foster. Nice. Whitney Teaster Gallion. Kanika Gregory. Ryleisha LeClaire Holloway. Bradford J. Lawson. Alicia Ann LeBlanc, also receiving the Associate of Science, magna cum laude. The following are graduates of the massage therapy program. Rachel Christine Buchanan. Nicole Arlena Davis. Joanne DeLulu. Ashley Marie Hicks. Tabitha Renee Leith. Kara Marie Lynn, also receiving the Associate of Applied Science in Allied Health Sciences. Laura Ann McLean. Lindsay McGinnis. Hannah Erin Turner. Brandon David Van Ornum. The following are graduates of the Medical Transcription Program. Jesse Lane Cagle, also receiving the Associate of Applied Science in General Technology. Haley Lauren Kaplan. Olivia Jennifer Dittler. Amy Leanne Dodd. Chelsea Elise Thrasher. Deborah Elaine Tollett. The following are graduates of the Pharmacy Technician Program. Jessica Marie Clary. Jacob Ryan Lay. Randy Lynn Martin. Courtney Janan Medley. Savannah Sue Reed. Amanda Lee Robinson. Jessica Andrea Russell. The following are graduates of the polysomnography program. Eva Christine Badger. Kayla Brittany Cherry, also receiving the Associate of Applied Science in Allied Health Sciences. Amanda Suzanne Foster, also receiving the Associate of Applied Science in Allied Health Sciences. Leah Marie Fritz, also receiving the Associate of Applied Science in Allied Health Sciences and General Technology. Stacy Leanne Higgins. Michael Daniel Lerner. Angela Cherie Lynn. Ashley Lynn McGill. Rhiannon Aaron McKivitt. Jeremy Houston Presnell. Kenneth Dylan Searcy. Cherie Candace Spencer. Sharon Denise Turner, receiving her Associate of Applied Science in General Technology, Tony Sexton.
With the audience, please join me in congratulating our graduates of the class of 2012. We cannot end this evening without recognizing that each of our graduates has achieved a significant milestone in their life. But as with any accomplishment, they have not done it alone. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, I expect that none of these graduates who received their respective degrees tonight did so without the support of family and friends. So I'm going to ask if you have played any role as a family member or a friend, offered a word of encouragement, or helped in any way to make it possible for these graduates to become part of the class of 2012, would you please stand? And graduates, let's applaud your family and friends. Graduates, our faculty has challenged you, and they have helped make it possible for you to learn and expand your educational horizons. So graduates, please join me in thanking the faculty at Roane State Community College with your applause. I'd also like to thank our faculty and staff who have worked diligently to make this evening possible. The graduation committee, ably chaired by Ms. Kathy Rhodes, our Dean of Student Academic Services, has performed magnificently to allow us to conclude this celebration of graduation. Again, congratulations to our graduates, and as graduates, and now alumni of Roane State Community College, you have an unlimited future ahead of you. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our graduation ceremony. Please stand as the graduation party, faculty, and graduates exit the floor. Out in the courtyard outside the gym, you'll be able to link back up with your graduate, as well as there's refreshments there to celebrate this special occasion. So I offer the graduates our sincere congratulations and best wishes for the future.